For the scale, I can use so scale uniformly, no, absolute scale. So I can use maybe 0.8 to, let's say, 1.5. So there is a variation in our trees. And let's see what else we can do here. The projection, yeah, I think I'm gonna change how these are set. So that was, it's not on the density filter. Just bear with me for a second. Was I try to remember, and I think it is this absolute rotation. That's what I wanted to. So it was on a relative rotation. Now I want to set the offset min to -10 probably, the max. So maybe even further. So 20 -30 -40. Let's see. Yeah, I think that will do the trick for our little wood cabin in here. So with this done, now we need to increase the post-process, the exposure and the post-process. We can move this into volumes and effects, and this post-process here we can just 5, and now we see that there is some exponential fog here that we can just reduce that there. But we can explore the lighting when we have done all of the vegetation here. So for this, this pretty much it. There is more things to PCG to work with, but just for this tutorial, I'm gonna keep it this way. And I can see there are some trees in there that it seems like they're not projecting, or I need to decrease this, maybe -20. Yeah, I think that will do the trick there. So yeah, I think that will do the trick, just because it's like a hill. It's not like a straight ground. So that's how you solve that type of issues. So I'm just gonna save that and then add some foliage to this. And we do that by clicking here, foliage. Now it works the same way as the brush on the landscape. We just need to bring some assets to this. So for example, if I'm gonna drag this in, all of them, we got a brush size 512, as you can see there. I think I'm gonna do 256, and then the density, we can set this to 10 maybe, and the scale, we can set this to 0.8 and 1.2. So we got this paint here, and then we can start painting just the areas we think that we are going to, we want to just show some vegetation there. Don't need to paint all of it, just around the area we can see. There, something like that. You can also use the foliage for the trees, but it was good to get to know PCG a little bit. And let's see. Yeah, it's not generating that much meshes, so it should be fine like that. Okay, let's see how it looks from the inside. Looks nice. We might even just change our lighting, how is affecting this scene. But my computer is pushing it, and probably yours as well, just because there is a lot of shadows that the engine needs to go through. So maybe I'm gonna use an ACR backdrop for this scene, but we can test that later on. And I'm going to just download some extra assets from Quixel Bridge. Some vegetation, small vegetation that already got in here, like some beach fern, yeah, some of this grass. No, this grass, no, probably this wild grass, and then this beach fern and rosemary. Nah, I don't think I'm gonna have rosemary for that. And some samia plant as well would be nice to have. And white everlasting. So, well, I can add this one in and this one as well. And this Sania Palm, I think I downloaded in high quality. Yeah, that was it. So I can keep adding to my foliage some of these assets, and already did actually. So for example, I select this and start painting, maybe 1 to 8. Just, not this one. I want to select this and untick them, and then just have this tick just around this area here. Maybe the density that is too much of a density, so probably 10. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, way better today at 10. And the size, I think I'm gonna put to 1 to 2. Let's see. Some vegetation here and there. Then I'm gonna untick them, and then I'm just gonna add this, and the density I'm just gonna set to maybe 20, and the scale again to 0.8, maybe 2. Let's see how 2 looks in there. By the way, we can always hide the PCG, just so when I finish this, just adding a little bit of vegetation to our scene there and there. And probably this way as well, just so it's looking like it's in the middle of a jungle or of a forest. I probably need to get some sort of sorry, I was erase some sort of path for us to walk. So I'm gonna select all of them, and then I can delete some of this vegetation there and create some sort of path that will lead us to this house. Then I can just paint again and then paint some more. Well, maybe that's too much there. Okay, we're getting there. And I think we can work on our lighting, because vegetation, I mean, you can do as much as you want or need, but I think we can get some nice shots from this point of view. And from inside here, there's some annoying bloom coming over, and we need to tweak some of the post-process volume. But yeah, I think maybe I just gonna add some vegetation here as well. So these small ones, I quite like them. No, that's too much. Was this ones? Let's say 10 and 0.5 to. Oh, sorry about this. It just selected all of them. I don't want all of them. I just want to select this. Yeah, these small ones are quite nice. I quite like them, just to fill some of those areas there. Oh, and we see some issues here that it's not going as we planned. So in here is fine, but here it's not looking great. And by the way, I'm just tired of that blooming effect, so I'm just gonna take it out. So this, yeah, much better to my eyes. And go back into foliage, and this is gonna be erase, and I'm gonna erase some of these flowers there. Yeah, and in the end we can just tweak this terrain here and do some more stuff, just so it looks more realistic than it is now. But I want to focus now on the lighting, and also I need to delete some here. Seems like it's going through the floor, and that one is fine. Yeah, I think that one is all right. So we're gonna tweak this vegetation a little bit further, but it's starting to look quite nice. So now let's play with the lighting, and I'm just gonna do a couple of things here before I jump into the light. As you can see here, those materials from Megascan on those rocks, it looks black and is not showing up. So for example, I think that's this one, and there was a couple of more that they look all black. So what I'm going to do is to go in here, and I think that happened because of the AO value on the master material here. So I'm just going to open that, and yeah, as you can see, ambient occlusion here is set to value 0. So I'm just gonna put this to 0.5 and see if that solves the issue for me. And it does there. So that was the issue. If it happens to you with a Megascan asset, probably is the fact that the what's it called, the ambient occlusion was set to 0. So when we changed remember when we changed on the project setting the static light to just work with ambient occlusion. So that is done. I'm just gonna save that and that. And also, remember we had some issues with this. I think it was the ray tracing way. So there is a command here called ray tracing nano mode. When I set to 1, it's gonna work fine. When it's originally is set to 0. So I think it's not showing in here, but those shading errors disappear when I apply that command. I'm gonna leave this into the description as well, but it's just ray tracing and night mode and set to 1. Okay, now probably you start hearing my PC screaming, and that is because of because of the PCG and just a lot of shadows and things going around. So I'm going to go into the lighting. And by the way, something else I forgot, on the static mesh, if I hit play, some of those rocks were flying around, and yeah, just before it happens to you, remember those that we use for just for the physics. So just go into rocks, select those assets, and untick simulate physics, just so when you play it doesn't keep simulating those physics there. And with that cover, now I can go into lighting, and then let's play a little bit with the directional light, see if this is what we are looking for in this. So I'm just gonna go with Control L and set. Maybe well, it depends if you want this to be affecting or direct to this house, or no. We can just set something like that. Maybe hitting a tiny bit there. And there is a lot of fog there. I know I reduced this, but I think I'm just going to enable this volumetric fog and see if this looks better. Yeah, it looks way better this way. So I'm just gonna move my sun a little bit and something along those lines. So let's see from the inside. Yes, it starts looking really nice. There are some spots here that are brighter than others, so we can just sort that out with the exposure. And also we can explore the skylight and see, in this case it's set to real-time capture. We can set this off and then select a specific cube map. For example, if you go here, open it, there are a couple that come with the engine. So I can set this to this one. So it's pretty much a HDRI that is hitting the scene. I think there is one that it was like a gray sort of texture. So it's pretty much what you find that it looks best for your project. Maybe this one looks really nice, or maybe just want to have this in real time. And direction light, I think I'm just gonna set this to movable, and let's see an intensity, less intensity to that, and then go into post-process volume here, and let's set it to 8, no, 6, 7.5, 6. Seems like a nice value from here. And what else we can do? Let's see this exponential fog. Yeah, no, it's too much in there. It's quite nice. I mean, the gold rays and all, but it's not what we want to focus on. So probably a value of 0.08. And let's see how this looks from this point here. And from the inside, again, it's a little bit kind of what you like the taste, but I think I'm just going to bring more light in, just going to increase the post-process volume. So this is kind of like a tweaking your scene and your lighting, and this is too much exposure. So I'm just going to go back to 6. And by the way, I think I'm just going to bring a guide for us to better see how, if the light is balanced. So I was just going to bring that in. And you will find this in here. I just added this into our folder. I'm just going to bring it into static meshes. I'm just going to call this like a depth. Set the color to this blue here, and then just drag and drop. Import all. And it didn't bring any texture. I thought I had some texture in. That's weird. Oh, probably is the format. So I'm just gonna sort this out. And I'm going to bring that in here. I just put it there in the folder so you can download it. So I'm just going to bring it into a folder here called dev. We can call it dev for developer. And the color is to that blue. I can just drag that in, import all. Gray, we can just drag one of those here, and we're gonna set like actor hidden in game. So we need to create some materials for this. Let's do that quickly. So just gonna use probably the PVC, it's fine. So I'm just gonna duplicate this, call this depth white. And then, well, just gonna open that. I'm gonna set this to a value of 0.84. I have 0.88, I think, or I think the snow it was 0.84. I'm not sure, but I think it is. So this is gonna sit in here. I'm just gonna set the roughness to 0.05 and everything like that. Now I want to duplicate this. Actually, yeah. Oh, I thought there was some normals there, but it wasn't. So this is gonna be our gray. So our gray image. So gonna assign a value of 0.18. I think is the correct value of 0.19 is between those values there. And another one for our blacks. And we probably want to set this to 0.04. So I think this value is for charcoal. Is the one that, yeah, we assign to that. And then I'm gonna duplicate this and set this like color rough, I think, and set it here, for the texture map. I'm just gonna look for where I bring that in. This one. So the rotation is not off, so everything seems fine. The tiling, that should be 1, 1, 1. Maybe I made a mistake. Oh, hold on. No, it was working fine. Yeah, no, it seemed a little bit distorted, but no, it wasn't the case. Gonna save that, and then finally we're gonna do one for Chrome. And this tint is going to go all the way up to 0.88 and metallic to 1 and roughness to 0. Of real time, there you go. So now we got some reference we can look at, and I think the black is probably is really dark there. Let's bring this out and see if it's roughly and in a good position there, or so it's not that bad. Probably I need to decrease the intensity of our sun. So let's do 2, or what about if I increase the sun and then decrease the exposure? Okay, now I think I'm just gonna do a little bit of indirect lighting here. You got this value here, so let's do 2, let's do 5 and see. Brings up a little bit of indirect lighting to our scene. Maybe too much, I would say. So 3. And I think I'm just gonna reduce this this value here, 3.14. And increase the exposure. So it's a little bit of a of balancing things out, finding what is the best option for us. And don't worry, we can sort this out when we do with the cameras. So we can have cameras with different exposures. So for example, if I'm going to have one camera here, I can just go here, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, and then create a Cine Camera actor here. So now I want to pilot this. So go here. I'm gonna set this to DSLR, custom, so focal length, probably I will do about 24 is a good focal length, and I'm gonna change this viewport to cinematic viewport, so it's close to what we're gonna end up with. So it's 16:9, and then here on the lens, if you go to post process, we can now sort this from here. So manual, and it's not changing, because I'm not piloting it at the moment. So there you go. So I can just play with these values and set my camera. If you click in here, you can get a grid, so you can position